morning, everyone. Welcome to my next video. Today I'm going to be sharing a storytelling and informative video for you as a part of my 3-day per week scheduling here on my new channel. So welcome. I'm so glad to have you back. I will be referencing notes because one thing I am quickly learning about myself on YouTube is that I love to talk, and talking turns into rambling if I don't create some structure for myself. I'm going to do my best to edit that out though. So today, through my experience and my recent experience at that, I'm going to share with you 3 principles and 3 ways that I am progressing on my own journey, finding freedom in my life, moving towards helping people, which resonates more with me, and that has become fundamentally necessary as I've worked my way into my 40s. So if you are looking for a change in your life and you're not sure where to start, or maybe you're looking for that inspiration, come along with me and I'll share with you. The first principle that I have come to know is true over the course of my journey is that knowing is not the same as being or doing. In order to find success, we have to make the decision and take the steps and the action required in order to move forward. Let me dive into that a little bit more for you. So when we're learning, when we're moving through the course of life, we may be thinking to ourselves, oh, I've learned this, or I've learned that about myself, or I can understand this circumstance to be true. But where I think we fail, and where I'll share that I have failed, is that knowing and learning isn't enough. In order to gain traction from that knowledge and from the wisdom that we're building, we have to make a decision and take action. Knowing isn't being or doing. I'll give you an example. If I learn that I will be more likely to get my way if I act in a kind and polite way, I know that to be true. I've learned it. I've seen examples of it. But if I don't exude a state of kindness and politeness, if I don't take steps to act that way, to take action in that way, then it's like I never learned it at all. So let me share with you my personal experience. I have been on a journey of growth for the last 7 or 8 years. And as is customary in my Sagittarius nature, I love to learn things and I love to teach people about the things that I'm learning. On my course of that learning journey, I have been working on my healing and dealing with my own defects of character and the wounding that I have, as many of us do. Those wounds and those defects had really been burying me until this past week when I had an epiphany and finally was able to move forward with making a decision and taking action. And you're here seeing my 3rd step of action by me posting my 3rd YouTube video, because that's the decision that I made. One of the things that stopped me from taking that action in the past was fear. That led to procrastination and coming from a sense of needing to do things to help others out of necessity for myself instead of genuinely for the well-being of others. So again, when we know something to be true, but we're not being it or doing, meaning taking the action or the steps, it really, the wisdom or the learning is empty, and that can lead to a really unpleasant place, which I'll share with you soon. Principle 2 that I have come to know to be very true in my experience is that we have to try and come from a place of humility and being humble. And humility doesn't mean humiliating. Humility just means the ability to acknowledge what we really are and who we really are. And in my experience, I have found that I have to be brutally honest with myself that I am flawed and I am imperfect and I make mistakes. And that is the sort of battle that we're all up against with our ego. And I'm using lots of buzzwords here that you may hear in the mainstream, but I've done a lot of studying related to it. So there are many facets of how we can experience that state of being where we are lying to ourselves and we think we're more than we are. And to protect ourselves, we falsify that we're imperfect and that we're fallible and that we can be dishonest at times and that we have shame because of the way we've acted in the past. But when we're able to see ourselves clearly and be humble in sharing that with people and have humility and say, hey, I see you. I'm that way too, and it's okay. You're not a bad person. We're not bad people. We're just human. And when you can finally acknowledge that to yourself, it opens up all of the doors. It's amazing. The example of my personal experience that I would like to share related to having humility and being humble is that when I first started on my awakening journey, as I like to call it, about 7 or 8 years ago, I started learning many things, as is my Sagittarius nature. I love to learn things and teach them. But I quickly was trying to amalgamate and alchemize that and regurgitate it back out to people, naively thinking that, well, since I've learned it this way and it worked for me, it must work for all people. And that's a very narrow-minded place to come from. And because I was not able to exude another component of Sagittarius nature, which is to zoom out and see the big picture, I wasn't able to reach many people. And I wasn't concurrently being very honest with myself about how I felt about the fact that I couldn't help people. I didn't have humility yet. I wasn't able to honestly admit yet my faults and my defects and where I had erred in life and worked on remedying and repairing and healing some of those errors.
Hello, Editing Jen here. I wanted to add in that my premise that goes along with being humble and having humility about your circumstances has to do with this. You don't know something if you don't know something, and that's okay. I think it's really important to acknowledge that if you're not aware of your defects or the shortcomings that you have, that's all right. But you need to be aware that you might not know everything. And that another pitfall can be that as soon as you start to learn something and start telling yourself, well, I understand this now, I know everything there is about it, that's a slippery slope. Because if we think we know, we often have no idea. Because there's so much out there that we can't possibly know all things. So that is how I like to relate to this idea of being humble and having humility. If you don't know, you don't know. And if you think you know, chances are you probably have no idea.
That was what I was doing many years ago. Now I want to bring you back into the past week. Really, life has been a roller coaster for me, just like anyone else. We have ups and downs and relationship trouble, and our career trajectories change, and we're just trying to get through life. Most particularly for me, though, as far back as February of 2023, and then more recently starting in November of 2024, it really started to affect me negatively. And up until just as recently as last week, I was in a place of quite a high level of despair. Uncertain, confused, not sure if I was ever going to make it out of these awful feelings, and how awful I was feeling physically and mentally because of that despair. Depressed, not taking care of my body, emotional eating, all of these things that we do to falsely try to comfort the fact that we are grossly out of alignment with what we're meant to be doing. I have got a lot of miles on my tires. I know that sounds funny, and when I'm not 43 and I'm 53 and 63 and 73, I will have really a lot of miles on my tires. But what I need to say is I have put a lot of mileage in a short period of time. I lived a lot of life. I lived a lot of life irresponsibly and chaotic. So since I was thrashing about, it's taken its wear and tear on my body. I'm sorry if you hear some click-clacking of paws, it's my pug under the camera. She woke up from her morning nap and is coming to snort and see what we're up to. I love her so much. Even though I've got a lot of miles on my tires, life tried to really chew me up and spit me out or swallow me whole, no matter how you look at it. I was really suffering and very focused on myself. Notice I'm saying I was suffering. I was in despair. We're gonna flip the script, right? That brings me to part 3 of this video. And that's that when you stay humble and you have humility about your defects and how focused you are on yourself instead of giving back to the world at large, then you can take spirited, aligned action, which I referenced in principle number 1. And let me share with you how you'll know that that's happening, because believe me, the signs will be there. Principle 3 about being on a journey that's spiritually aligned, and what I am learning in my early 40s as I get with the program and really live the life of my dreams that's free, that really is going to make an impact. And that is this: there are things that you will experience, nudges, intuitive thoughts, signs that will tell you, yes, you're on the right path. Yes, this is where I've been telling you I wanted you to go all along. And I don't mean to get woo-woo. I have an idea for an upcoming video to share with you how I'm woo-woo without being the guru. That will be fun. I'm looking forward to that one. It just came to me today, because that's the other thing. My creativity is just coming out. You will notice these 3 things when you start stepping out on the right path. And this is all 3 of these subcategories are related to principle number 3. Number 1, deep peace. You are going to feel unthreatened, unafraid, unbothered. That sense of dread is going to melt away. I cannot tell you for how long I've been waking up every morning with my normal routine, going to my normal job, which is not all bad, but nonetheless, I was waking up with that sense of dread of like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this another minute. And instead of waking up in that place, I'm waking up in a state of being energized, of being excited. I'm kind of in awe, because all of a sudden I'm noticing these things around me, and I can just take a deep breath. I'm at peace. I'm calm. Nothing bad is going to happen. In fact, very good things are going to happen. And that brings me to number 2 in the subcategory of principle number 3. You are going to have happiness, joy, and elation. I'm waking up with that deep peace, and my mind starts thinking about, how am I going to have fun today? How am I going to learn something new? How is the day going to unfold? I'm eager and optimistic while also having that deep peace. You are going to find true happiness, joy, and elation. And I'm telling you this because I'm only 1 week in. When I finally made the decision, I'm going to do YouTube, I'm going to help people, I'm going to share what I know, I'm going to take the risk, I'm going to put myself out there. I have been so happy. I'm happier with my husband. I'm happier taking care of my responsibilities. I'm even happier at work. Nothing is bothering me. When somebody needs my help, instead of being frustrated about it, I'm like, you know what? How can I be most helpful to them? And that's what they need. So I'm already becoming a better version of myself, a happier, more calm, more peaceful version of myself in 1 week. I've posted 2 videos. This is going to be my 3rd video. I am on the right path. I am reassured because I made the decision and I'm taking action. I don't just know. And I am admitting to you and to myself in a humble way that I am having humility about not being perfect, and that is okay. It is okay, Jennifer. And it is okay to all of you to not be perfect. In fact, it's better that you're not perfect. And we're gonna find that out. I have a hunch that in about a year from now, if we come back, hello future subscribers, if you're coming back to watch Baby Jen on YouTube. Sorry, there's more pug snorting. I have a hunch you're gonna come back and go, oh my goodness, Jennifer has become so much more healthy. Her face is much brighter. Maybe she's lost weight. I have a feeling that my body is gonna manifest this new energy that I'm finding, and I'm so excited to be on that ride because I've been trying to force that even though I was miserable, and it doesn't work that way. We have to live the way that we want, and then the gifts come. So being extremely happy, being elated, being in that state of joy for giving. Then the third and final category under principle number 3 is you are going to see the signs, the intuitive nudges, the universe telling you yes. I cannot tell you how much in the last week that I am seeing my spirit animals, the polar bear, which I highly relate to, and am really the manifestation of a polar bear energy with all my Sagittarius in my astrological chart, which I also love and will share more on probably later on this channel because I just love it. And it was not what I thought it was in the beginning. I've also been seeing a lot of stars and having intuitive dreams and beautiful things in nature that are saying, yes, Jennifer, come this way. Yes, Jennifer, share your knowledge. Yes, here are more creative ideas for you to share. Instead of getting a lot of no and negative and lacking energy, I'm getting a lot of abundant, prosperous, and inspired energy. And you will notice these things too yourself. Once you get into this space, once you make that decision, take that action, stop coming from a place of knowing, start coming from a place of being or doing, admit to yourself your faults and defects and strive to work on them, and come from that humble place with humility, you will have peace, you will have happiness, and you will see that your spirit guides or whatever you believe in, or maybe you don't believe in something, but you'll start to question whether you should, all of that will come true for you. I know it in my heart, and I'm sure that over the course of this journey, you'll see me feel touched emotionally related to it. I feel the best that I have felt in a very long time, and I'll just share one more anecdote. My mother is in Spain at one of my cousin's weddings this weekend, and I was not able to go, but I texted her this morning and I told her, after asking her what she was getting up to today and when the wedding started, Mom, I just wanted you to know that I'm in such a better place this week than I have been in a really long time. Please keep thinking of me and praying for me. And it's absolutely true. Excuse me. Just saying those words out into the cosmos of how much better I'm doing is so inspiring. And I hope you can see, and it inspires you, that if you're in that place of despair and in the dark, you don't have to be anymore. So stay with me on this journey. Next Tuesday, I'll be publishing my first Journey to Monetization video where I'm going to share my stats on how I'm growing. And I'm so looking forward to seeing how I am able to start really supporting people in a way that's meaningful while also sharing my journey and my truth. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video. Ciao for now. It's gonna be great.